Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective reading for today, Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first 5 cards of our 5-card spread? First card we are starting our day off with today, High Priestess in its reversal. Guys, it's a retrograde. And you know what's really intriguing? I just need to point this degree of the feminine energy moving into their headspace. If you'll remember or recall this, we had a lot of that feminine energy moving up into the headspace, pulling themselves out of the heart space. That's over. That's no longer are we doing that for today. What we're really seeing is happening right now is the feminine energy was disassociating yesterday, moving from a lot of logic approach. We can only do that for so long. So today may be feeling more grounded, a little bit more confusing. You could be feeling a little bit more logically or intuitively disconnected, particularly if you connect to feminine energy right now, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For masculine, this could be feeling like, again, some separation point between you and the feminine energy, looking at some feminine energy, asking about maybe even having some uncertainty about the logical approach that you're seeing the feminine energy in right now, or maybe seeing the feminine energy moving into a more of an emotional place as opposed to one that is more logic driven. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. The second card for our 5-card spread is the 4 of Cups in its reversal. There is a moment right now of feeling some frustration in terms of what you are trying to do and how you want to achieve it. While there is this desire right now, this is a reminder of the fact that different choices will yield different results. There is some anxiety about making the right choice right now for yourself. There's also potentially some kind of energy right now in recognizing that you would like to do something differently, that something that you've been doing the way you've been doing it isn't necessarily generating the change or ideally as much as you want, but still feeling a bit of fogginess or resistance as to taking that step for yourself to try that new thing. Maybe even feeling that feeling like you need to change something, but not being 100% certain what that is. For feminine, that's really going to feel like, again, that feeling of befuddlement, maybe feeling a little less intuitively connected right now or logically driven, which is causing some of this fuzziness. While for masculine right now, this could be feeling a little uncertainty in terms of how to move forward, potentially because there is some disconnection point with the feminine that you feel isn't necessarily providing the insight to the degree or capacity that you would hope. Continuing to get cards today, the middle card for our 5-card spread today is Wheel of Fortune. So this is very intriguing. So one of the things that is happening right now is, even though for feminine energy right now, there is this feeling of feeling a little bit disconnected, not necessarily being as connected to your logic-based mind, to that intuition point as you were yesterday, maybe feeling that crash out point to a certain degree. There is something here about trying to allow yourself to trust in fate's path right now, feeling like there is something that you need to be a bit patient on, really trying to trust your intuition, trust your higher guidance, trust that you are on the right path. Because there is a bit of a trust fall that we're seeing happening with the feminine energy here, because while they themselves might not necessarily feel in tune with that higher karmic path right now, there's still a reliance and deep trust in it, which we appreciate, that's guiding feminine along right now, just kind of letting events unfold the way that they need to unfold and trusting in the higher path to get them there. While for masculine energy right now, it is very similar. There is something here that you're putting a lot of reliance on right now as it relates to the divine timing, feeling a little uncertainty in terms of the decisions that you need to make or what decision is right for you at this moment, even potentially as it relates to trying to get in connection or better connection with the feminine energy. This could even be trying to find something right now to be able to put forward towards this energy because you're feeling a bit of a disconnection from the feminine. Something about this energy, you're either not necessarily in a space where you feel like it is communicating logically, Or it's feeling like this energy is pulled back from you and is not giving you or providing you the insights that you require to make the decisions that you need going forward, but also trusting that fate is kind of at play right now, and this is a momentary situation that's going to realign itself. The next card in our 5-card spread right now is 7 of Wands. It feels like a bit of a nail biter today. It feels like you really need to push against things. This could be feeling a state of overwhelm right now. This could be feeling a state of frustration as you try to take many different approaches at once. There could be this sense right now that you've got so many things that you need to address that you're not even sure where to start, which could also be leading to some of this misalignment energy that we're seeing in terms of the decisions or the right path to go forward on. But we don't see you losing hope. We see you today, like, again, a lot with that. Again, yesterday we saw a lot of that practical energy. We saw a lot of attention to moving forward and trying to get things done. It just feels like more of a hard hurdle today and less productive than it was yesterday. But still you will battle forward is what we're really seeing. Because what we're really seeing too is that you have focused in on what it is that you're trying to achieve. You recognize right now where your path is leading, and you're willing to fight the fight even on the harder days, even if you're feeling like you're not making as much headway. Continuing to get the final first of our 5-card spread before we get clarification, there's a feeling of a need for rest. Listen, I'm not surprised to see it. Yesterday was a day marked with a lot of intense activity. Today, we're still seeing a lot of that activity at play, though it's feeling like more of a slog. There is this kind of need or this higher calling right now, trying to remind you that rest also needs to be a part of the schedule, that it is okay to allow the space and time to have things rest, and that rest, as long as it is restorative, is just as productive as the moments that you are fighting tooth and nail to do the things that you are trying to do. In a way, we're actually seeing right now that you're like, you feel the desire and need for rest, but you're not letting yourself have it until you feel like you've successfully pushed back or fought against things to a certain extent today, that you feel like you've truly earned the rest that you're trying to, you've earned the exhaustion that you might be feeling today. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our High Priestess in its reversal in combination with the 4 of Cups in its reversal. So a moment right now for feminine, this is just feeling like a bit of a frustrating day, just feeling like, you yourself might be feeling a little bit off as it relates to your own ability to like follow your intuition or your instinct, feeling like things aren't lining up the way that you would ideally want to, making it question your own connection to your higher logic or intuition. But also recognizing that some of this is springing from the fact that you have some decisions to make right now. You're having a moment of uncertainty. You're having a moment of anxiety. You're recognizing that you need to do something in a different way, but you're feeling a little bit of resistance from doing it because it feels like such a difference from what you've typically done. While for masculine right now, you are also feeling that point of resistance, recognizing a point of frustration, getting the same results to a certain capacity, recognizing that there is a need to try something a bit different, to try a different approach right now, potentially to get back in better connection with a feminine energy that either you feel is not coming through in the most logical of places right now, or you're feeling that like spiritual disconnection point either intentionally or unintentionally. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Temperance. We're seeing this, guys, as the retrograde still. We're still in the retrograde till the 14th. Again, there is this deeper sense of coming through right now about saying time will make everything okay. Time will make everything okay. Even here, there is a feeling for feminine that there is something about allowing time, allowing divine timing to take a moment, giving yourself a moment of easement on some of this anxiety and telling yourself that you have time, feeling that something about this space that you're experiencing right now is protected by divine timing. And that's what's even allowing you to push through at this moment. It could feel somewhat frustrating. While for masculine right now, there is a feeling that you may not necessarily be in as good a connection with a feminine, that a lot of your attention is directed towards right now, feeling like you're not necessarily getting the benefit of the high insight and guidance from this type of energy, or feeling some kind of disconnection point from this energy right now. As you try to consider new approaches, but there's also this feeling that you're not rushing this process, that you don't want to make the wrong approach to a certain extent. So you're really allowing yourself to take the time so that you kind of are able to affix this, but by doing it in the right way possible and not necessarily repeating the same mistakes from the past. Continuing to get clarification on these cards between our Four of Cups in its reversal in combination with the Wheel of Fortune right now. So again, this could be feeling like a day that feels a bit frustrating because you recognize that you are being called to take a new approach on something, to take a new direction, to try something different. Having that point of resistance potentially in doing it, even as you're experiencing it, but trusting in the higher guidance to guide you through even this moment right now. May I please have one card to clarify? Two cards coming out to clarify right now, and that is, wow, the Seven of Swords in its reversal in combination with the Ten of Wands. And what we're really seeing here is this is your commitment to the work at hand. You see where you are trying to go. You see the path ahead of you. You recognize that this is not something that you can do overnight, that this is a game of inches to a certain degree, and that it's going to require a kind of work that is going to have to accumulate on to a certain extent. That every step forward, even if it is small, is a step in the right direction, because cumulatively they are taking you where they need to go, and it is hard work that you're doing in the process, and you're telling yourself that that is the direction, even if it's difficult, as long as you're committing not to go back to doing the things that have caused you pain, not going back to the situations that have caused you pain, not going back to the people that have caused you pain. It's this commitment to move away from the areas that have hurt you towards the places that are productive, that are driving you forward right now and requiring you to take some new approaches, even if you're feeling some degree of uncertainty and resistance in this moment, because you recognize that this is where your highest path is leading you at this moment. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Wheel of Fortune, center of our spread today, and the Seven of Swords. This is recognizing your path. This is recognizing your highest calling. This is recognizing your highest path and being willing to fight voraciously for it, defending it at all costs, willing to put in the work, even if you're feeling at times that it is overwhelming, because you recognize that you are defending the most important thing right now, which is that higher calling, is that higher path, sticking and staying focused on it, even if it is difficult. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with Fool. This is the acceptance of the new journey. This is the acceptance of the new journey. This is that resistance point, but also the embracing of that moment. This is allowing yourself to recognize that you are moving forward right now on a new path for yourself, that you are embracing the fact that you are doing things differently because they're going to lead to different results. You are embracing the path, that the path will not necessarily always be easy, because you don't necessarily always know what you're doing on it, because you're doing things in a different way. But ultimately, you are committed to that path, and you're trusting that even in those moments that you're feeling those points of uncertainty, you will be divinely protected, because you know that you are following your highest spiritual calling. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Seven of Wands in combination with our Four of Swords. It's not that you're not feeling tired today, folks. It's not that you're not feeling exhausted, but you're simply, this is one of those days where you're just going to have to tell yourself, I'm going to drive, I'm going to push myself through this today. I'm going to push myself through any adversities I experience. It's not going to be an easy path to the finish line, but I'm going to work really hard today, because just the reward of relaxing, the reward of being able to feel like I earned my rest to a degree today is what is driving you forward. We can all have days like that. We all have days just counting the minutes until you can just relax. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the devil energy. Devil energy. And that's the thing. This is why it's feeling like a bit more of a slog today. This is why it's feeling like a bit more of a slog, because some of that unhealthy coping mechanisms are rising to the surface. Some of those unhelpful modalities of thoughts, some of that connection to those unhealed karmic connections is still kind of at play here. It is not the fact that you don't recognize that they're there, but we're also recognizing the fact that you are pushing against them. You're recognizing on your own healing journey right now that some of the thing that you're doing right now is pushing back against the, as I said, taking new approaches, pushing against the things that you would typically do that maybe weren't necessarily aligned to your highest path, that were keeping you in a lower vibration. It's not that they're not there right now. It's that you're like actively pushing against them and recognizing that in a way, you know, sometimes the best thing you can do instead of falling towards them is to just take a moment and rest, because some of that might have been an indication and realization that you do that as a way to like mitigate for the ability of resting instead. So this is that moment that you're really pushing back against your own point of exhaustion, potentially, and some of that unhealed karmic work that you're still doing actively at this time as well. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, clarification between our Temperance card in combination with the Seven of Swords in its reversal, in combination with the Ten of Wands. So feeling that this is hard work today, feeling the weight and energy as you complete cycles, as you move towards the cycles that you're reaching completion on. Moving, and the point of completion that you've reached, that you're now pushing forward on, is not going back to circumstances and situations and scenarios that were causing you pain, that were causing you difficulty. Really driving forward from this point, even if it feels difficult, and trusting in patience to make this easier, that with every step, with every minute, with every hour, with every day, that this journey will get you where you need to go and further away from those situations and circumstances that have caused pain, caused difficulty, committed to that journey, away from that by seeking new approaches. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the World card. The World card, and this is what you're moving towards. This is why you are moving in this direction, because you recognize that your ability to manifest, your ability to have everything that you desire right now, to be able to really call in your highest aligned path, what is going to bring you the most success, is going to allow you to manifest the best things for yourself in this moment. It's not by going back to situations or circumstances that have shown you time and again that they've caused you pain, that they've hurt you. Maybe feeling the weight of those. They're here. It's not that you don't recognize them. You're just rejecting them outright right now. And you're driving yourself forward, even if it's difficult. And you're trusting that time will bring you to this moment, as long as you continue in the right direction, in the knowing you're moving away from the harm and towards the good. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Seven of Swords in its reversal, in combination with the Ten of Wands, in combination with the Fool. Look at this energy here, folks. A refusal to go back to situations, scenarios, energies that have only caused you pain. Feeling the anxiety and uncertainty of the path before you, not necessarily knowing what you will find because a new path is opening, and recognizing that that is not an easy choice. Recognizing that it is taking work to move away, because I will point out the comforting thing about this card, and you are now recognizing this, is at least when you go back to things that have hurt you, you know what you will find. The predictability is there, even if it isn't pleasant, versus the anxiety and uncertainty of the new opportunities that you're moving forward, the new pathways you're carving with yourself. That again, while you feel that they are going to lead to better outcomes, you don't necessarily know what those outcomes are. And that is the weight that you're carrying at this moment as you push forward from a point of comfort and difficulty towards uncertainty but positive energy. May I please have one card to clarify? That is the choice. That is the choice that you are making. You are done sitting in a moment of uncertainty. You have spent enough time waiting for your higher instinct to take over. You have spent, this is not a decision you made quickly. This is a decision that you sat on for quite some time. You observed all of your options and you are trusting your intuition right now as it relates to the course of action that you're taking. Even if you cannot necessarily see what it is leading to, you are trusting your higher guidance. You are trusting your intuition at this moment. You are moving away from the predictable things that have caused you harm and moving into new directions, moving into new options, moving into new possibilities, even while uncertain and even while difficult to move away from that comfort of predictability, because you are trusting your intuition to guide you. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Fool energy and the Devil energy. So this is feeling like a lot of very powerful energy today, because again, while you are moving forward right now, while you're moving forward with this degree of uncertainty, trusting the path, trusting your own intuition to guide you, trusting that as long as you follow the high path, you will be protected. It's also in recognition of the unhealed situations, of the unhealed circumstances. It's a Fool energy that is mindful of what to watch out for, even as they proceed forward in this point of uncertainty. So the confidence of the Fool with the awareness of those energies that may be working against you as you proceed on this journey, keeping you in a lower vibration, keeping you in a lack mentality, but not allowing yourself, but allowing allowing that knowledge to guide you forward, to be conscious of it even as you proceed in this new direction for yourself. May I please have one card to clarify? Two cards to clarify. Very heavy energy. Because this is the moment. This is the anxiety. This is the fear of you proceeding on this path. This is where, again, we see some of that high priestess energy coming up in its reversal. This is what you are potentially worried about as you go forward from this point. Because, again, you are working very hard right now while you're trying to trust your own intuition. You're trying to trust your own instincts. You're trying to be very mindful of those lower vibrations, of those unhealed karmic energies, of those unhealed modalities of thoughts, of those unhealthy coping mechanisms. You're still feeling them having that internal conflict around you, either viscerally, like tangibly, or internally. Because you recognize that this is a battle within the self as you move forward from this point. And there is a deep anxiety about being misled, about making the wrong choice. But the reminder here is the memory and keeping in mind that as long as you are staying focused on who you are and what is of value to you, you will not necessarily allow yourself to be disillusioned. But you're feeling the weight, you're feeling the fear, you're feeling the anxiety of the fear of making the wrong choice, even as you proceed forward with the best of intentions at this moment. Very important day for meditation, for grounding, for writing out your intentions to help you as you experience this energy. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our world energy and the Two of Swords in its reversal. So really allowing yourself, like I said, ground that energy today. Ground that energy. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of things coming forward you right now. But weighing the fact that you're moving into this space of trying to come to a point of completion, trying to be able to manifest what you are trying to manifest for yourself at this moment, but also realizing and recognizing that you're trying to take some very strong course of action right now, following your higher intuitive guidance that's going to lead you to this better ability and degree to manifest what you're trying to manifest for yourself on your highest timeline at this moment. May I please get one card to clarify? The Hermit. You're recognizing that this is requiring a certain degree of isolation. That there's something here that is requiring you to go inwards. That it is about coming to terms with oneself, building a level of comfort with one's own journey, one's internal journey, building a confidence and a degree of comfort with being alone with oneself, with finding comfort in that state and insight in that state today. And really kind of, as I said, grounding that energy, going inwards, allowing that internal guidance to help drive your action. This is why you need to go inwards. You need to go inwards so that you can focus on what your intuition is trying to guide you to do right now, to lead you to your highest timeline. Continuing to get clarification right now between our Two of Swords in its reversal and the Five of Wands in combination with the Seven of Cups. So again, allowing this to be a moment that you are taking action. You are allowing your intuition to guide you, but still feeling that anxiety of conflict, either tangible conflict that's actively happening around you right now, or internal conflict that you are experiencing due to the fear and anxiety that you may be making the wrong choice. Even as you're doing everything you can to trust your intuition, to take the action that you feel is going to lead you to the best outcome, may I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Nine of Wands in its reversal. And this is really beautiful because what we're really seeing here is that while you are in a moment where you're feeling this internal conflict, you're feeling the doubts and fears of potentially making the wrong choice and feeling that overwhelm, you're not letting it stop you in following your own inner guidance right now. You're not letting it stop you in taking the actions that you need to take. Why? Because you refuse. You simply refuse. And you recognize that to not do so would mean that you are not acting out of fear. You are not going to let yourself stay frozen in a space of fear, frozen in a space of uncertainty. You are going to take the actions that you need to take, following your intuition right now, because you are not going to let this be a moment that you feel isolated or uncertain because of your own doubts in your own ability to know what the right path is. Beautiful journey that we're seeing here today. Final card for today's spread between our Hermit energy and the Nine of Wands. And this is what we love so much right now. These two cards are so powerful together because what we really see is while you are isolating right now, while you are willing and you have the degree that you are learning to go inwards, you're not doing it because you're isolating out of a sense of fear. You're not going inwards. You're not staying inwards to protect yourself from the outside world. You are going inwards today because you realize that within you is the rich landscape from which you can truly manifest your heart's desire. You are becoming comfortable in that internal space. It is a choice that you are making, not a defense mechanism. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the King of Wands, who absolutely refuses to stay in the deck this week. Refuses to stay in the deck this week. And what are we seeing here? This is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. For feminine right now, you are moving in this space right now of going inwards, of not letting yourself feel like you're going inwards, feeling comfort, finding a new degree of comfort in your own internal journey, building this degree and ability to feel comfortable in a point of solitude with the manifestation around you, or the focus of a manifestation of a masculine energy that is coming forward with passion, communication, clarity, a plan, feeling and recognizing some kind of guidance around you that is making you feel comfortable to take some of these steps for yourself right now. Maybe even coming into higher alignment within yourself right now of this type of energy. Really feeling that you are discovering it within you as you go into this internal journey. While for masculine energy right now, we are really seeing that this is a moment that you are finding your own, even in the face of fear, because we saw yesterday there was a lot of anxiety around the masculine energy as it related to their own stability. This is a moment that you're saying to yourself, the masculine energy is not allowing that fear to dictate their actions right now, because they refuse to operate from a place of trying to be in a fear-based mindset, but instead allowing this to be a moment of going inwards internally to find the right path, finding the journey of the higher self, getting into an energy that is going to be one that's going to allow you to communicate your passion, your ideas, letting communication really be the watchword of the day for you as you plan and you lay out what you are trying to lay out as you go forward from this point. Bottom of the deck for today's reading is Queen of Pentacles in its reversal. I can't make this up. So you will remember, did you just hear what I said? Did you just hear what I said about the fact that yesterday, if you go and watch our daily collective read for yesterday, you will recall all we saw around the masculine energy. All we saw around the masculine energy were reversed pentacles. Masculine energy yesterday was feeling a lot of anxiety as it relates to its own security and stability. And what has occurred? Well, that has transmitted itself to the feminine today. It has transmitted itself to the feminine. These energies are reflecting off each other. Okay? They are mirroring one another. They're always a little off the mark. Because now what has occurred is the feminine yesterday was able to allow that higher intuition that they had to get the masculine, because this was in its upright yesterday, to get the masculine out of that feeling of that lack of security and stability. But as a result of doing it, we now find the feminine in more of the detriment, because the feminine has embodied some of that lack of security and lack of stability that we saw so heavily in the masculine energy yesterday. And this is going to feel for the feminine this point of anxiety that's leading to you feeling a hard time logically approaching things right now as it relates to where you put your own sense of stability and security. So if that's in finances, you're going to be feeling anxiety around finances today. If it's about your home, you may be putting a lot of hyperactivity in your home today. Anywhere that you let your sense of stability rest is where you're going to be feeling this today. And that is confounding some of your own ability to trust in yourself, which is why we see some of this devil energy popping up for you. While for masculine right now, this is a moment where it's like beautiful, lovely. You're no longer feeling that point of instability that you were feeling yesterday as it relates to your own stability. We see that you really did a lot of work yesterday to process through that. And we did see even yesterday this card was out. So we did see that you've moved away from like some of this card was the solution to the instability you were feeling yesterday. We saw masculine went heavy into work and planning to make them feel more stable. But as a result, you are now experiencing a feminine energy that you may potentially be feeling is coming through as feeling less secure, less stable. Feeling some of this, feeling like there is this disconnection point between you both right now as it relates to how you are today in terms of planning and how this energy is in terms of creating this stability for themselves, or even feeling like the feminine energy is creating some of the instability that you were experiencing yesterday. And I will just point out to the masculines, if you are now shifting some of that feeling of instability to the feminine, I just want you to remember that you were feeling it yesterday. So this could be a little bit of transference that we are also seeing here as you kind of go forward in this productive fashion. So you may want to be a little bit easy on the feminine energy today. And I will also point out for masculines, this could be interpreted as more than one manifestation of feminine coming through in this way. So feeling some multiple, either a single source of feminine energy right now that you feel you're either not in great logical communication with or spiritual communication with, and that's making them feel more unstable about the connection, or two separate energies right now that you feel are not necessarily as connected as you would ideally want to be to these energies, that is making you have this concentration on them. That is our daily collective read for the day. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. Please remember that my booking a private reading is a two-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you hit both buttons if you'd like to have a reading with me. My private readings are done over video with the option of recording sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. Also, please remember, I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private personal reading. I will never DM you. I will never inbox you. I will never tell you that I have a very, very special message from all of your spirit guides and your third cousin twice removed. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So do that. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and sharing this reading with me today. And we will do this again tomorrow.